Hello, everyone. We'll be getting started soon with the virtual tour. Just hang in there. We're waiting for a couple more participants to jump on, and then we'll get started very soon. Thank you. Okay, good morning, everyone. We are really excited today to be hosting this virtual Discover Downtown tour. We'll be highlighting PR pros in their new home at 515 South Blount Street. So today our host is going to be Valerie VK Fields, who is the chief and PR pro at her company. And so we're really excited to be featuring her today. And so real quick, going to let you know that we actually had a curator that was going to give us some quick facts on the historic district, Prince Hall Historic District, but they had an emergency and can't be here today. So before we begin the tour highlighting 515 South Blount Street, just quickly want to showcase the Prince Hall Historic District. Give me one moment to get everything up, and then we will get this rolling. Okay, so with doing a virtual tour of a new business and its renovation at 515 South Blount Street, which falls in the Prince Hall Historic District, really thought it was important to quickly highlight the history of this neighborhood and its significance to Raleigh and downtown Raleigh. As you can see in this map here, it's about 4 blocks that's considered Prince Hall Historic District. And actually connects with the East Raleigh South Park Historic District as well. There's some parts and elements that overlap there. But here you can see the Prince Hall Masonic Lodge, which is the namesake of this district. It used to be South Person, South Blount neighborhood, and then once it got its historic significance status, it was changed to Prince Hall Historic District. So you can see that building here over time, and then how it's changed into the 1960s when it was a YMCA extension there, a salon. The Masonic Lodge is located in this building still to today. So you can see how it's just changed over time, and even adding housing around it and becoming a mixed use neighborhood. And these are just some other photos of past businesses that I found and just wanted to showcase this area. Because right now, a lot of people think it's one of those neglected parts of downtown, but it's really important today to understand that this area is coming back with the investment that Valerie has made, and there's new businesses popping up every day. A new shoe boutique is in a sneaker and shoe boutique is in the Masonic building. Right across the street from there is a new hair salon. Last year, Loading Dock, Prince Hall, which is a co-working space, came to the neighborhood. So there is businesses coming back to this area, and also Black entrepreneurs. And so this is something great, and we're very excited to see. But again, just wanted to showcase a couple photos from the historic archives that we got from North Carolina Archives. So thank you to them for letting us borrow those photos. Actually, it looks like we have Earl on the line. Looks like he's trying to come in. Give him 1 second to see if he can step in. Okay, well, while Earl is still getting logged in, Valerie, let's go ahead and share the video that'll start the conversation on how you made the jump to move your business into this building and take that in that 6-month renovation period. Let's go ahead
Okay,
and play that while we get Earl on the line.
you got it.
Hi, I'm VK Fields with the PR Pros team, and I want to encourage you to follow your dreams until they become a reality. Take a look at our 6-month journey as we work to not only transform a building, but to uplift our community. I hope you're inspired by this project. This is the power of vision. Welcome to PR Pros. Remember, it's only failure if you quit before you succeed. Success isn't just an option. Success is inevitable. Hashtag PR Pros.
Excellent. All right. Well, don't know what happened to Earl, but we're going to keep moving on. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and then let Valerie take over. And then, although I want to say this, although your mics are muted right now, please engage with us. Please use the Q&A feature to do that. Ask questions throughout the tour because we really want you all awake and at home and just learning more about Valerie and her business and her journey to renovate this space. So we're going to get started right now.
Great. David, thanks so much for inviting me and allowing me to share this morning. I just saw someone in the chat talking about the great video. Thank you. We were very proud. And when you, what you see on the screen was day one for us. And so when you start there and it's actually done, we couldn't wait to make the video because the process, although it was a fairly quick process in terms of construction, only about probably 6 months all in with actual construction work, just when you start there and know that you're trying to get to a destination, the sense of this overwhelming sense of completion and pride is really what I felt when it was done. So what you're seeing there on the screen is pretty much right after we've signed the paperwork to kind of get the deal started. We've done the walkthroughs, had contractors come out, give us assessments on what it takes. And my understanding was, oh, well, you'll need some roof work done. And roof work and redoing the roof are two different things. So I did learn that. And as you saw from the video, we actually had to take down the entire roof. And so you can go on to the next slide. But this is where we started. And we just saw an amazing opportunity here because of the history that you shared, because of some of the other videos. So here I'm standing, this picture here is with me standing in the lobby, and the building has been cleared out in terms of furniture and files and paperwork and things that were in there. But as you see, the ceiling was essentially meeting us halfway, and the roof was not able to be salvaged. And so all of that insulation had to come out, and we had to strip the floors. And so we took it back down to the original concrete. You can see the wood is rotting there because there's been a lot of water damage. And here, just the water damage where the roof had actually fallen in. And so it wasn't even safe for us to go back there. So the room that you're looking at now, I never physically was able to get into because it was deemed unsafe. And so we just had a demolition crew come in and just pretty much gut the whole place, taking down, you can see the HVAC at the top and some items that were in storage that we weren't able to remove ourselves. And so basically, if anybody watches HGTV, you hear them say, oh, it's a complete gut job. For us, this was a complete gut job. So next. These are the 4 dumpsters that we used over a period of time to clean out the building. And this view is taken from the back of the property line. So our address is at 515 South Blount Street. We are the concrete building. In this photo, we're the concrete building on the right, and see that we're adjacent to another one of the buildings that the Masonic Lodge has, the green building. And then with a lovely view looking over toward Wilmington Street and Salisbury Street, and they were doing construction at the same time, albeit going a lot higher. But we actually cleared the back lot and then made it a gravel lot. And here we've got the entire building cleaned out. So we cleared the lot, then we stripped out all the interior walls. And what we were waiting for at this point was for the roof to be deconstructed so that we could rebuild it completely. And certainly from a safety issue. So this is actually one of my favorite photos. And so if you've never done a construction project, this looks like something that has a lot of work in front of you. But if you knew how much work was behind us at this point, when I was standing in the building on this beautiful sunny day with no roof, no ceiling, no nothing except some steel girders, this is one of the proudest moments in the whole process for me, because I just felt like we were making progress. I knew everything coming in from this point was going to be brand new and it was going to be a fresh start, and I was thrilled. So this is one of my favorite photos, because even though it doesn't look like much, I knew we were on our way. Next. And again, just closer to show how far we had to strip down the building. And David, if you can see right there in the middle where your mouse actually is, the only thing, absolutely, I love that. That's the only thing we were actually able to salvage in the entire building is the stained glass address window, which is still there now, as you saw in the video. But everything else had to go, but somehow that has survived since 1950. So we're really extremely proud that we didn't have to have it recreated, that we were able to keep the original stained glass. Here is, this is the undergirdings of our brand new roof as it was coming in. And so the excitement that I had at this point, I knew that probably in about 2 more weeks, that we wouldn't be rained on if we were standing inside the building. So this was a great moment of progress. And here, again, the roof was being completed, and they were, I think, getting ready to install the insulation so that we could put up the interior perimeter wall. Along the right side there, you see the insulation has gone in, and the steel girders for the infrastructure of the telephone and cable is what you see there on the floor. And the glass was being put in as well for the windows, and we have those still boarded up there at the front. Here we actually had the HVAC ventilation system going in, and there was work being done in the very back on the right in the bathroom. And so the drywall had been put in, and we actually had electricity again. So you can see that the lights were up there near the top right. And at this point, the concrete floors, I think, have been sanded. We've got drywall up and electricity. So I knew we were on the home stretch, and I was thrilled at this point. Here, drywall's covered, and the electrical outlets were going along the wall were going in. So we had the ceiling lights up. Then the building was getting prepped to be wired for our phone lines and our cable lines so that we could have internet access. And then you can see the bathroom door had been finished there at the very back, and the plumbing was going in, and the water fountain there on the left. Here is what the floors look like once they were sanded down and they've been coated, and then we had them coated again to be more of a rustic look, like cement grayish look, like that warehouse feel. But at this point, we've got electricity, we've got plumbing, running water, we've got the floors that have been sanded. and coated and sealed, and we've got that brand new roof, so it's not raining on us inside anymore. And you can see there with the 2 windows on the right, just how much sunlight and natural light comes in the building. So it's very bright in there. And we were really, really feeling like we were about to be done here. It was really just a matter of now that all of the infrastructure was done, just really upfitting the building to suit it to our needs. This is the first color of the first coat of paint that went on so that the building could pass inspection. And so we've got our security lights out front. You see the original stained glass. We replaced all the glass windows at the front. We're starting to move furniture in. And the first coat of paint was lavender, because we just needed it to cover up all the graffiti so that we would pass inspection with the city. And then eventually would get another coat of paint, but this allowed us to get our certificate of occupancy so that we could actually move in. And this is the back view of the building where we had gravelled the parking lot. The exterior of the building has been painted because it was covered in graffiti when we started. And I'm standing in the back of the building looking toward Blount Street. And then I decided that I'd like a glass conference room. And so this is near the front left of the building. And this is the framing that went in so that we could then put in glass panels and have a conference room space. And you can see that the conference room is there covered in plastic during the construction period. So we're really excited to then start customizing the interior of the building. This was, we were having some painting done and starting to move in furniture. So the construction crew was just very kind to cover up all of our belongings. We're starting to move in furniture and equipment. And we were actually moving in and getting ready to set up and start working. And this is at the beginning of this year. So the construction process was completed at the end of 2019. And we started the move-in process over the New Year holiday. And we were moving in January 2020. And that's just another angle of the conference room. And then we put in, now you can kind of see what it looks like now. We put in cubicles with the glass partitions, and the furniture's there, and the little curtains are up for some privacy. And you can see, if you look down at the floors, you can see the concrete gray coating on the floors as well. And so for the most part, this is the theme of how the office looks throughout. There are a few workstations, partitions up to separate. There's a sort of kitchenette break area. And then we're a public relations agency. So in the back, there's just a room for us to have video shoots, green screen for camera equipment and lighting and things of that nature. And this is what the inside of the glass conference room looks like. So you can kind of see me in the reflection taking a picture. I'm standing near the front of the building with Blount Street directly behind me. And I'm in front of the glass taking a picture inside the conference room. And if you look through the glass, then you can see the other partitions. And this is pretty much when everything was done and we were all moved in and ready to get back to business. And then COVID-19 came, and there were shelter-in-place shutdown orders. So we packed up and everybody started working from home. So our building was brand new and done, and then we weren't able to be in there for about 3 or 4 more months. But we were thrilled that it was complete. And this is just a shot from Blount Street at night when the building is all lit up. So I'm standing on Blount Street, just taking a forward-facing photo of the building. And this is it, 515 South Blount Street. Welcome to the PR Pros home and the lovely Carolina blue exterior. And I think that's pretty much it. So that was our process and our transformation of 515 South Blount Street. And if I could just take a moment for all the people who reached out to me over the time that we were renovating and doing the construction. And then one of the stories that happened was after the protest, our glass was broken out. So we actually had to repair the exterior and the glass in the buildings again in June. But for everyone who reached out and supported us and encouraged us and helped us get back and make us whole again, thank you so much for the support and the encouragement. The building, if you drive down Blount Street, looks like this again. And so we are extremely proud of that and just thankful for all the support and encouragement that's been shared with us.
Thanks, Valerie, for leading us through that. I have a couple questions for you, actually.
Sure.
So first, can you just give us a brief background on PR Pros and its type of business that it does?
Absolutely. We're a full service public relations agency. We've been in downtown Raleigh for quite some time. This is probably year number 23 in business. Raleigh, North Carolina is home for me. I graduated from UNC Chapel Hill. I majored in public relations out of the UNC Hussman School of Journalism and Media, as it's called now. Worked in PR pretty much my entire career. And so I actually started the company in my parents' home near North Hills Mall and just grew the company from there. So we're now going toward year number 24 and excited about that. We've been in downtown close to 20 years now and just saw an opportunity to invest in this area. And the building on Blount Street had an amazing opportunity for us to have a win-win, I would say. It was a win for us because we were looking for new office space. It was a win for the community. It was a win for our construction partners and renovation partners. And so it's just been this fantastic opportunity. As you showed earlier, that area used to be very vibrant and now it's on the comeback. And with so much investment and development all around, we certainly wanted to be a part of that. And as an African-American businesswoman, entrepreneur, I wanted to have that presence there as well, and also inspire other young entrepreneurs who are coming up to allow them to see what is possible and just maintain that rich history and tradition and legacy of Black business ownership in that particular area. Our neighbor is Shaw University and Tupper Memorial Baptist Church. And so that long-standing history there makes me very proud to be in that area and part of that tradition.
Yes, we love to see it and see that investment taking place and all the new businesses coming back to that area. So thank you, first of all, for that investment. And we just look forward to seeing how your business continues to thrive in downtown. But I wanted to ask, with making the move to this new building, are you able to grow your team at all? Do you have plans to grow your team since you have a larger space, perhaps?
We do have plans to grow. The beauty of the work that I do is we're a service business, and COVID-19 forced a lot of us out of the offices. And for the 3 months that we were required to be out of the building, we're not considered, our industry is not considered an essential business. So the good news is we were able to keep working, but we did so virtually. And so the building isn't so much what's going to facilitate our growth. It's just that our services are more in demand. So we're building a bigger virtual team, and the building will accommodate that, but it's not necessary that our team members work from the building. We are very much technology driven, which is a terrific thing. So yes, we are certainly growing, looking to continue growing, and the building more or less accommodates everything that we need. But if we're not able to be in the building for whatever reason, it's okay, because the technology and our having clients pretty much across the country allows us to operate from anywhere and just then connect online. But yes, we are very fortunate to still be working and still be growing, and I'm grateful for those opportunities for sure.
Excellent. I wanted to ask, do you know anything about any of the past businesses that were located in the building that you are now in?
I do. I believe the building, I'm not sure what month, but it was constructed in 1950. And over the years, it has transformed from a laundromat to a fabric shop, a trophy and engraving shop, a photography studio, and then to us, a public relations agency.
Thank you for that. I was trying to find some information on it, and the last thing I could find was a photography studio. So I think that's really interesting to see how the building hosted a variety of businesses over the years and where it's headed towards now. So it's really interesting. And just says something about the neighborhood as being one of our first mixed use districts in Raleigh. Fun fact. I'm sure Earl can definitely talk more about that. We're going to come back to Earl towards the end of the tour to talk about Prince Hall Historic District, and we'll continue with Valerie. One question I wanted to ask, I was doing some research on your project, and I saw that you received a City of Raleigh building upfit grant. Can you talk about that and just say like how helpful that was, or if you would encourage other entrepreneurs to pursue this grant?
Absolutely. This was my first commercial renovation project, and certainly everything was brand new to me in terms of how to get the job done, how to pay for it, how to get additional financing and support, and just understanding really the nuts and bolts of how to start a project of this magnitude and take it to fruition, especially if you've not done it before. And so in my research, one of the things I found with the city of Raleigh was that if you were a property owner, then there were two types of grants actually available. One, there was a facade grant, which is if you own the building and you can make some exterior improvements, then I think the limit, at least in the area that we're located with Prince Hall, was up to a $5,000 one-to-one matching grant. And so we were able to apply for that as well and receive that. But the one that you mentioned specifically is the building upfit grant, which we also won, which was $25,000 again match. And certainly our construction cost, I mean, the roof alone was going to be more than $25,000. And so the application process was really straightforward. I spent a lot of time at the city, made a lot of new friends with the city. And what I found was that every department that I had to reach out to was extremely helpful. I asked a lot of questions. I went in pretty much saying, this is new for me. I want to understand your process. This is a great opportunity. What can I learn, and how does this process help me? And so what I learned from the experience was that if you're willing to just ask the questions, they are willing to give the answers. I found the application process was very easy. The city officials were very accessible. I could reach them by email. I could reach them by phone. They basically helped walk me through the application process. Here's what we're looking for. Here's what you're going to need. They told me what types of inspections would be done, which departments to go to. Our building is located in a historic district overlay. So there's a few more challenges in terms of what you can and cannot do on the building because it's has a historic designation. And you wouldn't know that just going in. So it's just very important to communicate with them and understand, what can be done to the exterior, what changes can be made, what can we do on the outside. And I just found everyone to be extremely helpful. And so the way it worked is that once we were completing the construction process, I was able to essentially submit receipts to the city to prove that these renovations had been done. And then we were reimbursed for those expenses up to $25,000, which actually helped me finance the project and complete it. So with the $25,000 building upfit grant from the city of Raleigh, and then the $5,000 facade grant from the city, we were able to add an additional $30,000 to our construction budget that helped us complete the project.
Awesome. Thank you for detailing all of that. What was the total cost of the renovation, if you don't mind sharing that?
I don't mind sharing. Hard dollars came in around $200,000. Sweat equity and resources and just sort of some of the stuff that if I had to quantify it, we did for ourselves, probably about $250,000 all in. The building is one story, a little over 1,600 square feet.
Excellent. Again, thank you for that investment. We got a couple questions from the crowd. One of them you kind of already answered, but I think there's more there. Okay. What is one of the biggest lessons you learned, as an entrepreneur, and taking on a project like this, and what would you do differently as advice for other entrepreneurs looking to make that leap of owning a property to put their business in?
Sure. What I would do differently is pick a building that had a roof because had I known what it took to take down a roof and put up a new one, I probably would have picked a different building. But it was a great learning experience because essentially you learn everything when you have to strip it down to the bare minimum and then rebuild it. You learn a lot of things along the way. So I'm actually very grateful for the learning process. For other entrepreneurs, I would say ask someone who's done it. You don't have to have all the answers. You just need to ask the right question and use the city as a resource. I mean, I guess we think of the city as this municipality that's in the background and you just pay your water bill or you pay the gas bill or, whatever. And you don't really think of the city as a partner. But that's really how I considered it because they were, because of these two great grant programs, helping me finance this project. And so my goal was not only to have a great building to move into, but to have this great building that could be another high point for the city to showcase as an investment for entrepreneurship. And so I would say to the extent that you can, for an entrepreneur who's looking to do something, find someone who's already done it, ask a lot of questions, find out what opportunities and resources are available at the city, get to know the individuals in those departments, utilize the city as a resource, and function like as a partner, not just as an entity, a third-party entity, and then look for opportunities and be creative. The way we were able to get this done was in partnering with the original owner of the building. And so now we have this partnership and we were able to do it together. It's not that you have to do everything yourself. So now I have this partner in the renovation, in the construction, in the ownership, in the investment, which is amazing. The building is an improvement on that block. So now that's spurring other people to invest and do construction. Our next door neighbors are in the construction process now. They're rebuilding their roof as well, because the buildings were built approximately the same time. And so I'm just learning that one investment actually spurs and encourages other investments. And so I would certainly say, look for the opportunities where you can do good, have mutually beneficial win-win scenarios, and you'd be amazed at how much help shows up when you ask for it.
Excellent. Hope everyone is listening to that and taking all of that wisdom and knowledge in. And I think that's a big lesson that all of us can learn, is ask the right questions and use your resources out there. Speaking of resources, we had a question from the crowd. Did you apply or get any historic preservation tax credits for this project?
I did not. I did inquire to see if I could apply. And after much research from our CPA, what we found was that the amortization for the building and where it wasn't as much of a tax benefit as it would if we just filed regularly. So the way the program was set up in my particular situation wasn't a great benefit to me. But I certainly do encourage others to pursue that as an opportunity, because your situation may be different. But yes, it was definitely something we explored and researched, and just found out that it wasn't going to be the best financial benefit with our particular set of circumstances.
Thank you for answering that question. Do we have any last minute questions for Valerie? Please use the Q&A feature and we can get those answers before we switch over to Earl and let him share some knowledge on the Prince Hall Historic District. Any other questions? Feel free to put that in the Q&A right now. Okay, we just got another one come in. As someone who is invested in the Prince Hall District, how would you like to see the surrounding area grow?
I would like to see everything that is considered a blight or in some form of disrepair brought back to useful utility. I don't like seeing boarded up buildings that have graffiti on them. And I'm not saying everything needs to be 10 stories tall. I'm not saying that we need to tear down everything and start fresh. But what I am saying is that it hurts the community when you have buildings that are boarded up with graffiti all over them and the yard is overgrown and it looks like no one cares. This is an area, a community where people cared. What these businesses contributed to the vibrancy of a neighborhood. And so to walk down the sidewalk or drive down the street and it looks like I'm in a community where people don't care, I find that offensive. And so I would very much like for us as entrepreneurs, as partners with the city or community development groups, to work together just to restore the area. And if while we're working on the 10 and 20-year development plans, can't we just fix up everything now and make it useful? There's, enough space for community centers, for meeting spaces, for something. But I would just like to see more of us, myself included, just continue investing in the area and just make everything something that we can feel proud of. Because I think when we make that initial investment, then other people will join us and make larger investments with us so that we can envision what it could be. But for right now, the thing that would make me just thrilled is that if I'm walking down the sidewalk in the area or driving around, that everything looks like it has a useful function and purpose and feels like something we can all be proud of.
Excellent. Yes, that is something that Downtown Raleigh Alliance would love to see as well. So we are committed to assisting entrepreneurs that want to get in business downtown, looking for a location. We can help with those services. As Valerie said, use the city as a resource, use Downtown Raleigh Alliance as a resource. If you're looking to get in business downtown, we can help. Call us. We definitely will be there. At this time, if we don't have any other questions for Valerie, let's switch over to Earl and let him talk for a little bit. All right. So Earl, are you ready to go over there? Okay. Earl, you should see a mute button somewhere. Okay.
He's
Looks
asking
like
if you can unmute his phone.
yeah, huh. It should be. Sorry for this, everyone. Give me 1 second. Hmm. Earl, looks like I'm having an issue where it looks like you should be already unmuted. So I'm not seeing how I can fix it right now. And I apologize for that, everyone. Let me try something else very quickly. Hmm. Okay. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and continue on. Earl, I'm sorry, I don't know what's our issue with unmuting your mic, but I am unable to find the icon to unmute you, but um, we'll get some information from you later and send it out later. But to wrap up this tour, I just want to say thank you to Valerie. Also, thank you to Earl. I know we couldn't get you on, but we will definitely work with you again in the future because Earl is just a bank of knowledge, especially when it comes to African American community and agricultural history. So he's an amazing gem to work with and have at the North Carolina Museum of History. But I do want to say thank you to also our sponsors. So give me one moment to pull some stuff up. But yeah, you know what? Technology today is not cooperating. Anywho, but I want to say real quick, thank you to our Discover Downtown sponsors who help us host this program on a monthly basis. In the next couple of weeks, we are trying to figure out how we can get back to in-person tours. So stay tuned for that in the future. But our number one concern is public safety. So of course, we don't want to start those until we can safely host a tour in person. We are very eager to see you all in person, and thank you for always tuning in to Discover Downtown and learning more about our downtown and how it's advancing. So with that, please stay connected with us. Please go to Downtown Raleigh Alliance, excuse me, go to downtownraleigh.org to sign up for our newsletter. You can also visit us this Sunday at the Moore Square Market Weekend Pop-Up. We're going to be doing that this Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then also next Thursday is our annual State of Downtown, which is going virtual. It's free. Please go to our website and you can register for that next Thursday from 2 to 3 and learn a more in-depth presentation on the investments taking place downtown, new businesses coming, and what the future holds. So again, thank you everyone for your time this morning. Have a great day, stay dry, and continue to be engaged with us at the Downtown Raleigh Alliance. Have a good one.
Thank you. Bye-bye.